Hello everyone, welcome back to SliverStar Arcade and more of the Ace Attorney. I did have this episode recorded and then something happened and now the file won't open properly. And it led to some fighting. Anyways, in the last episode, we came to the pawnbrokery, did a dance of deduction, and oh yeah, that mysterious guy pulled a gun on us. But then Gregson came in just at the final moment. Just further cementing how he's my favorite character so far. Right. You lot have got some explaining to do. I don't appreciate being bothered with some petty argy-bargy. No, that's not the voice. See? No, that's... What is that, fake Al Capone? Whatever. Petty? Mr. Windybank nearly met with his end. Yeah, by his own gun, as far as I can tell. Oh dear. And the whole of Britain could meet with its end if I don't get to the bottom of the case I'm supposed to be working on. What on earth is the case, Inspector? Spare no detail, Gregson. I might have said a little too much. No matter, it's nothing to do with you lot. Anyway, sir, you're gonna have to come with me down to the station. But of course, Inspector. He's getting away. I think I had something funny. Yeah, I think I said a funny joke. Man, I'm upset that that recording's gone. Get after him, lads. Whistle the beat officer, too. Sir. There's been a spat of thefts at pawn shops around here recently. So we fitted emergency buttons underneath the counters for brokers to let us know when there's trouble. Oh, Inspector. I was very worried there for a moment. Very worried indeed. Now then, Mr. Permanently in Mourning. Oh, yes? I'll be taking that whatever it is of McGilded's down to the yard, thank you very much. So hand it over. Oh, yes, of course. No, don't! My throat. No, don't give it to him. It's mine, that is, mine. I'm sorry, little miss. But anything belonging to McGilded has been taken in as evidence now. As evidence? If the police demand something as evidence, my dear fellow, we have no choice but to capitulate. It's all yours, Inspector. Ugh. And so, we handed Mr. McGilded's disc over to Inspector Gregson. And we're summarily turfed out of the shop and onto the street. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. To be continued! You know, so if I just ran the last episode for 3 or 4 more minutes, we would have had the perfect stopping point. No. That's why we don't save in active LP, because then you have to go through a bunch of old save files just to make sure you got the right thing. 15th April, Baker Street. See, that's why I hate grown-ups. All they do is feed you a pack of lies and take stuff away from you. Oh really, Miss Lestrade? Tell me, is that overcoat keeping you warm? What? Oh my, surely you were given that. Yeah, the dealer let me keep it after I looked daggers at him for long enough. He went through the pockets and then said, go on then, have it, before telling me to scrapper. Always pays off giving people a look like you ate them. I can't help feeling that's going to get you into serious trouble one day. What I really wanted was that nice shiny disc mine. The music box disc. But Mr. Windybank said it was practically worthless. I think I'm gonna go and have another bash. Give him a long and odd stare. I think not, Miss Lestrade. We shan't enter Windybanks again today. Why not? That's not fair. It can't be helped, I'm afraid. The police are investigating the scene now and taking a statement from Mr. Windybank. But that disc's mine. I had the ticket for this coat and it was in this coat's pocket. And there should be something else and all. That's what that rotten cove said, ain't it? Yes, he did mention something about in our article, didn't he? Well then, that's mine too, whatever it is. Oh, she's really pushing her luck. Miss Lestrade, I think it's time to admit defeat. You've had your haul for the day. Yeah, and it's all your fault, Sholmes. So what are your plans now? Will you dine with us this evening? Eh? Iris would be delighted to cook, I'm sure, and I might entertain you with a modest violin recital. Nota. Oh? Why would I come to your place, eh? Have you lost your head or something? Oh dear, she's gone. Heaven revealed on me quite unnecessarily, I might add. I can't help wondering if perhaps she might turn up anyway. Interesting. Once she's had a chance to calm down, I think there's a good chance she'll decide to come. Very well then. I'll inform Iris to set a place for our potential guests at the dinner table for this evening. And one more thing. I should be glad of your company later too. Sorry? I believe I'll have a rather splendid surprise to show you. Oh, how exciting. What is it? You shall have to wait and see, Mrs. Sato. Until later, then. And I believe we've already examined all this stuff. I'm surprised we can't examine this. I've investigated thoroughly, but I can't find anything out of place. Let us move inside. With the furniture moved in recently, this place is starting to feel like a real office. What a bustling place. Unfortunately, we can't gain access at the moment while Scotland Yard are investigating. Scotland Yard is investigating. I thought is how you would say that. Well, we were asked earlier to show our faces here, so yeah, let's give it a try. 15th April, 3:46 p.m., Sholmes' suite. Ah, Susie and Reno, come in, come in. Oh god, this music. Good afternoon, Iris. Thank you so much for the breakfast this morning. Oh, don't mention it. Goodness, look at the time already. Busy as always? I am. I'm preparing everything for dinner this evening. Already? You're obviously cooking something special, are you? Oh yes, after all, we have a special guest joining us. Guess who it is? Go on. You'll never guess. Ah, my voice. Look at those little eyes of hers shining. Oh dear. It is awkward when you already know the answer, isn't it? It's Ginny! Isn't that exciting? Or Ginny, yeah. Oh, what a surprise! Yes, that's wonderful news. Wow, Iris seems overjoyed at the idea. I can't wait to learn some pickpocketing tips from a real professional, and this is where I lost the file. Oh, yes, that does sound like fun. I'm not sure that's entirely appropriate. Are you, Mr. Naruhodo? By the way, Iris, what's Mr. Sholmes up to? Hurley? Oh, he's been like that ever since he got back. Hello, Mr. Sholmes. I beg that you won't speak to me. Ah, goddammit. He's depressed again. Sorry? I don't know who you are, but kindly take your leave. As you can see, I'm not here. I don't know how to respond to that. I do apologize when he gets like this. He's completely oblivious to everything. Yes, I see. Really, he behaves just like a child sometimes, Hurley does. Mr. Sholmes and Iris have something of a parent and child relationship, don't they? Yes, except that Iris is clearly the parent here. Come to think of it, I wonder where her real parents are. What's the matter, Runo? You have ever such a funny look on your face. Oh, no, it's nothing. I know what it is. Why does this girl live here with Mr. Sholmes, you're wondering? Am I right? How did you... Hehe. Oh, Runo, I can read you like a book. This girl is dangerous. Don't worry, you can ask me anything. I won't mind. Alright, let's examine real quick. I believe we've already examined everything. Well, except for the pressed Mr. Sholmes. So, let's do that real quick. Hopefully this doesn't trigger anything. So, Mr. Sholmes, what are you so engrossed in? Did you not hear? I'm not here. Of course you're not. I cannot think why the whole bed of the ocean is not one solid mass of oysters. So prolific the creatures seem. You won't even turn around and look at me. It's best to just leave him alone when he's in one of his moods like this. Yes, I can see that. Okay, actually, let's present Iris with our badge. Would you mind if I showed you this, Iris? It's just a boring old thing, really, but... Oh, I don't really like boring things. It looks like Japanese modesty is easily misinterpreted by young Western children. I mean, who does like boring things? No one wants to be shown something boring. Come to think of it, you're always introducing things with, this is boring, but it's a bad habit. You should stop it. I'll be sure to let the entire population of the Empire of Japan know on my return. Yeah, I guess that is a thing in Japan. Yeah, even my Japanese friends always tend to downplay things. Converse. Ginny. So, by Ginny, you mean Miss Lestrade, the young woman from the McGilded case 2 months ago, right? Yes, who also stole my experimental smoke grenade launcher. Although, after that trial, I invited her back here and we had dinner together. And now we're the best of friends. Oh, what a lovely tale. Yes, now if I bump into her on the street, she runs away as fast as she can. Oh! And I chase after her down the back alleys. Interesting idea of friendship. And then I let her have the latest color of smoke grenade I've developed. Oh. There are so many beautiful colors in the world. Ginny wants to make a whole rainbow. I suppose this means you've let Miss Lestrade keep the smoke grenade launcher, have you? Yes, that's right. I get bored of it anyway. Hurley always reacts the same way when I shoot him with it now. Poor Hurley. Oh, I can't wait for Ginny to arrive. It's been too long since she last came over. I'm so excited. Something bad's gonna happen to Miss Lestrade. I just hope she does actually come. This music's actually pretty good once you listen to it long enough. I'm sure you've been wondering why it is that I live here with Hurley, haven't you? Well, it has crossed my mind. That and where are your real parents? Oh. My mummy and daddy aren't with me anymore. Mummy passed away when I was born. And at around the same time, my father, well, he had to go to a faraway land because of one of the cases he and Hurley were working on. Oh. Wait a minute. Did you say he and Hurley? Yes. Daddy and Hurley were always solving mysterious cases together. She didn't mention that before. He wrote them all up in his diaries. That's what's in the metal chest over there. Really? He recorded them all? So, you mean it's true, Mr. Sholmes really did have a partner with whom he tackled some of his most taxing cases? Oh yes, I mean, it's always nice to have one, isn't it? So Mr. Sholmes' partner was your father? Exactly. Hurley told me I wasn't allowed to look in the chest, but that only made me want to look even more, so I opened it up. And found your father's memories. Or was that memoirs? Yes, so I asked Hurley, who wrote these? He nearly fell off his chair. But then he told me, that's when I found out the author of all those accounts was my father. So Iris's father was Mr. Sholmes' partner. Iris's father. I've practically lived with Hurley all my life. I was tiny when he took me in. So, it came as quite a shock when Hurley told me he wasn't really my daddy, I mean. It must have done. I wonder why Mr. Sholmes chose to tell you, and at such a young age. Hurley says it's because he wouldn't have been able to hide it from me. Oh. Oh, look at the little things on her backpack, like the little characters. Oh, that's cute. Well, having lived with Hurley all these years, you might say that his ways have rubbed off on me. There are some things I can just see. Especially lies. I almost know when people are lying before they open. What? I almost know when people are lying before they open their mouths sometimes. Jeez. So you're the bloodline that leads to Apollo. Right. Anyway, I was so fascinated when I read Daddy's diaries. That's what inspired me to write The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes, actually. I'd always assumed Mr. Sholmes simply told you all those thrilling stories. Oh no, Hurley's hopeless like that. He forgets everything. As soon as he's solved the case, it all but vanishes from his mind. Oh, I see. The other day, it was so embarrassing. As usual, he totally forgot about the case he just solved. So, the very next day, he gathered together all the people involved and proceeded to solve the case again. It was quite a shock for everyone. You can say that again. You share your father's surname, don't you, Iris? That's right, Wilson. Daddy is Dr. John H. Wilson. I learned from his diaries that he's a doctor of medicine, you see. That's what prompted me to study and study, so that I could earn a doctorate as well. Iris's father went to some distant land. Come on, Naruto. Naruto, pick up the pace. We know this man. And is a doctor by the name of John H. Wilson. Finally, he clues in. The court will now hear the trial of Ryonosuke Naruto. Jesus. Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in this case. The victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson. That's right. Visiting professor of medicine at Imperial Yume University. And the man who, in the most bizarre of circumstances, lost his life just before we left Japan. Mrs. Sato? Yes? Perhaps we shouldn't pursue this conversation any further at this time. I think that would be for the best. Ah, my dear fellows, how good to see you. Eek! Mr. Sholmes. Why ever did you not make your presence known to me before? Well, no matter now. So how the devil are you? We've been with you for most of the day. Goodness, really? Do tell me, Mr. Sholmes, is your violin unscathed? My violin? Whatever are you talking about, dear madam? Oh, never mind that now. I have something far more interesting to show you. Behold, my dear fellows. Oh, another music box disc. No, not another disc, Mrs. Sato. This is the one Gregson demanded we hand over as evidence. Mr. McGilded's disc. Oh my. Then, what's it doing here? You know, at times, Mr. Naruhodo, I think that though I have an undeniable turn for detection, I may well be even more adept at larceny. Ooh, that would be wonderfully exciting. I'd be your pickpocketing assistant. And Runo could be our go-to lawyer if we ever got caught. Right. Plus, Plus, Susie has such beautiful handwriting. She could write all of our menacing crime notifications. Yes, I'd be delighted. I'm just gonna pretend this conversation never happened, I think. Yep, plausible deniability. See, she agrees with us. Actually, speaking of which, let me examine the violin, because that should be new. Now this is really Mr. Sholmes' faithful performing partner then. The Stravadar, the Strappy Scar, the Scrapafarius. No, it's no good. It's gone. The Virtuosos. So you can't say Stradivarius, but you can say Virtuoso. The Virtuoso's violin that he found at pawnbrokers and managed to buy for next to nothing. After all he went through to get it back, he's just cast it aside on that chair. I was looking forward to hearing the beautiful sound it makes when Mr. Sholmes plays it. It does look rather sorry for itself there, doesn't it? Although, at least Wagahagi hasn't attacked it yet, even if his eyes are saying it's only a matter of time. Alright. And of course, I must stop you there, Mr. Naruhodo. Unofficially, I may be, but I am nevertheless a professional. I couldn't examine such a mundane item for anything less than £5. Oh, okay. Yeah, so we've seen this before. Oh, is this new? Are you perhaps hoping to purchase a new telescope in the near future, Mr. Sholmes? Indeed I am. As you know, it has long been an ambition of mine to discover a new star. Indeed I am. As you know, it has long been an ambition of mine to discover a new star and name it for myself. Because your earthly stardom isn't enough? Yeah, so last time he talked about wanting to get a complete copy of the works of Shakespeare. Let us converse. The music box disc. I don't understand. How did that disc come to be in your possession? I thought Inspector Gregson took it back to Scotland Yard. Quite correct. And that sort of uncompromising attitude is precisely why I always carry some of this. That's a bar of caramel, Mr. Sholmes. Your one and only friend in times of loneliness, if I'm not mistaken. If you will humor me, my dear fellows, cast your minds back to when the good detective confiscated the disc. Yeah, it was like 5 seconds ago. I'll be taking that, whatever it is, of McGillicud's down to the yard, thank you very much. So hand it over. Yes, of course. If the police demand something as evidence, my dear fellow, we have no choice but to capitulate. It's all yours, Inspector Gregson. I did think it was weird that he was the one handing over the disc. For the briefest of moments, I had the disc in my hand, did I not? Yes. Yes, you did. But I still don't understand. It was at precisely that moment that I summoned my one and only friend into action. I pressed the disc into a pair of bars like this. So we don't have the actual disc. Dude, that thing had blood on it, and you pushed it into chocolate bars? That's amazing. The disc and all the minuscule protrusions have made an image in the caramel. Indeed, the caramel is quite exceptional. I developed it myself, you know. Suitably soft for making impressions, but resistant to melting. The result of a precisely controlled solution. How extraordinary. Carrying a pair of these on one's person frequently proves very useful indeed. Take a house key, for example. Simple press and its unique form is duplicated. I can enter anyone's property at will and never without high sucrose nourishment. Yes, it sounds illegal. From the image, I was able to create this. I confess I was most curious to know what manner of music would issue from the disc when played. The music on the disc. Do tell us then, Mr. Sholmes. What music does the disc play? Hey. Well, unfortunately, I have no idea. No idea. None whatsoever. Are you familiar with the workings of a music box, my dear fellows? No, I'm afraid not. Goodness, you don't know, Runo? Here we go. Listen to this music. Inside a music box, there's a special metal piece called a comb. That's what produces the sound. Small protuberances pluck the different teeth of the comb as they rotate past it, making different notes. The first music boxes to be invented used a rotating cylinder with protuberances on it. That seems more efficient than a disc, which would require a bigger box. But over time, a new type of player was produced, which uses discs, such as these. With the development, the popularity of music boxes spread far and wide, all around the globe. Why, exactly? Because the discs are easy to produce and can be interchanged to facilitate the playing of different tunes. Oh, that's why, because it'd probably be difficult to disassemble the music box, take out the cylinder, put a new cylinder, and it'd also be harder to store. You'd probably just have them rolling around in a drawer somewhere. Whereas discs, you can stack them, put them on a shelf. That actually makes a lot of sense. Just like how there are probably some form of music that's better than like records or discs, but records or discs were easier to produce. There are a great many firms in Europe now manufacturing music boxes as a result. It is wonderful to be able to enjoy music even when no performer is present. But it is the very success of the invention that means we are now presented with an insurmountable problem. What do you mean? As you may imagine, the construction of one firm's music box does not match that of another. And we have no way of knowing in which music box this particular disc was designed to be played. There is no resolution to this problem, I'm afraid. It's quite intraceable? Interactable? Ah, I see. So that's why. Naturally, I tested the disc in those few music boxes I have at my disposal. But, as you can hear, to no avail. The results were equally unsatisfactory in this one. So, I am presently engaged in inquiring an example of all the music boxes ever made in Europe. Every single one?
That's Hurley for you. Always taking things too far.
But, my dear girl, an unsolved riddle is quite repugnant to my constitution. But surely you have all the different types in... But surely all the different types in Europe will amount to a huge volume of music boxes, won't it? Yes, that is certainly true. In the worst case. I shall just have to ask you to vacate the attic room. What? Magnus McGilded. Then we'll probably end the episode after this. Magnus McGilded. Not a name I expected to hear again so soon. Yes, it's only been 2 months since that grisly case. Another flashback. Mr. McGilded perished within hours of the trial's conclusion. Was it the curse of the Reaper? No one knows still now. The omnibus was reduced to a pile of ash. Not a shred of evidence remained. And with the man's death, the truth about the murder in which he was so intimately involved was buried. Even though we successfully established Mr. McGilded's innocence in the trial, the newspapers are still claiming that it remains an unsolved case. The murder of the brickmaker, Mr. Thrice Fried Mason. Or Thrice Fired? Lady first, Mr. Fairplay. In the end, the truth of the matter remains a mystery. We still have no idea what really happened that night. And although Mr. McGilded was found not guilty through my defense, I still don't know if that was the right judgment or not. It would appear that the case is not yet closed.
Well, it's time I started getting things ready for dinner, I think.
And we will do that in the next episode, because I have a feeling that something big's about to happen. So, thank you all so much for watching. And as always, stay safe, have fun, and have a great day.